I am not sure if you've heard the news, ladies and gents, but Man United are signing 100 players this summer. All right, I'm bringing it to you first, exclusive here. You may notice some sarcasm in this video because there's going to be quite a lot of it. But Manchester United have been linked with over 100 plus players so far this summer. I want to do this video to give you a bit of understanding. This is feeding into the frustration of Manchester United fans. I want to say a big shout out to United Muppeteers for compiling the majority of this list, but I'm going to run through it. I'm going to try and run through it and try not to spurn my words, but I probably will. And I've got to have a theme tune for this, and it's a very appropriate theme tune because let's run through this list. And it starts with Darwin Núñez, and we've got Christopher Nkunku, Calvin Phillips, Anthony, Jurrien Timber, Harry Kane, Manuel Akanji, Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, João Palhinha from Sporting Lisbon, and Declan Rice. There's your first 10. Ruben Neves, Arnaud Danjuma, Enzo Fernandez with Sam Johnson, Yassine Bounou from Seville, Philip Cohen from Salzburg, John McGinn from Aston Villa, Aurelien Tchouameni and Richarlison. Don't forget Moussa Dembele, Victor Osimhen, Erling Haaland, Rafinha, Antonio Rudiger, Boubacar Kamara, Conrad Lema, João Gomez, and Ronald Araujo before he signed a new contract at Barcelona. Next up, we've got Yves Bissouma, Yuri Tillemans, and Jed Spence from Nottingham Forest with Benjamin Siegrist, Tammy Abraham from Roma, Matthijs de Ligt, of course, from Juventus, and Steven Bergwijn from Spurs. Max Aarons, Paulo Dybala, Cody Gakpo, Pau Torres, Jarrad Braithwaite, Nazar Noussair Mazraoui from Ajax. Of course, Jonathan David, Frankie de Jong, Lisandro Martinez, Christian Eriksen, and Jules Koundé. And that's 46. There's still more to go. Don't worry about this. Wesley Fofana, Nicolo Zaniolo, Sebastian Haller, Issa Diop, David Carmo, James Ward-Prowse, Tyrell Malacia, Ibrahim Sangare. This is really hard. I shouldn't have done this. Ryan Gravenberch, Lautaro Martinez, Karim Adeyemi, Ousmane Dembele, Evan Ndika with Moussa Diaby, Denzel Dumfries, Christopher Baumgartner, Hugo Ekitike with Gonzalo Inacio, with Nuri Mukiele and Borna Souza, Facundo Farias, Kalidou Koulibaly, N'Golo Kante, Sasa Kaladzic, Rafael Leo, Merih Demiral, Alessandro Bastoni, Giorgio Marmadashvili, that's a great name, Malcolm Ebiowai. Of course, Manu Kone, you've got Carl Rushworth, Mason Mount, Ben Nelson, Marco Asensio, Sven Botman, Leandro Trossard, Robert Lewandowski, don't forget him, Stuff in the Fridge, Inter Milan, Danny Ings, Aston Villa, sound like a bingo commentator now, Josko Gvardiol, Edson Alvarez, Vitinha, Fabio Vieira, Daniel Bachmann, Adrian Rabiot, David Raum, Leandro Paredes, Robbie McCrory, and Evan Nilsson from Porto. How long did I take there? A couple of minutes? I have no idea, but I lost count there. I didn't lose count. It was 95. You might say, Sam, that's not 100. I know it's not 100, but don't worry. We forgot about Gianluca Scamacca. We forgot about Carl Darlow, who could be set for a shock Manchester United transfer. Then we've got Corentin Tolisso, who's the free transfer. Well, we may as well link him to Manchester United. What about Oxlade-Chamberlain, ladies and gents? Don't forget about him. And how can we forget about Nottingham Forest winger Brennan Johnson, bringing up the big 100. Wow. That was quite exhausting. I'm surprised I didn't make more mistakes in that. That is Manchester United's summer transfer window in a nutshell for you, ladies and gents. I know that we've all got every reason to be frustrated about a lot of things that have gone on. But remember that a lot of the frustration is caused by the media, is caused by agents playing the game. And unfortunately, the biggest game to play is Manchester United. The biggest name to use is Manchester United. And we've all got to make sure. That's why it's so important to understand who you trust, who you consider reliable, rather than a lot of the guff that's out there. Now, obviously, this week we've been talking quite heavily about Christian Eriksen and Frankie de Jong. I did a video on that yesterday, and I ran through. Look, I don't actually think that could be a midfield that works at Manchester United, and I explained that in the video. But they're two of the players who, through all of these links, it looks like Manchester United are going to be signing. Now, the frustration for United fans is when we look, for example, what happened as a consequence of this interview that the lads got with Richard Arnold was him saying, look, the money is there. The money is there to be spent. And at this moment in time, Manchester United, simply put, have not spent that money. And that's where the frustration comes from. That's where the frustration is justified. But you all have to remember that the frustration certainly is born in a large part due to just that's, as I said, It is a video littered with sarcasm, and it's a complete and utter fucking joke. That there really have been 100 players linked with the move to Manchester United, some more so than others. But those names across the summer so far, in one way, shape, or form, have been linked with the move to Manchester United. And as I said, there's more names you can add onto that list. And I'm sure that by the weekend, there will be a couple more names added onto that list. And it only feeds the frustration that Manchester United fans have. That's why I spoke about it this morning when I said, look, you can trust Neil Custis if you want. And look, he may well be correct on this one, given that we can see that something's coming from Rob Dawson. But no, I won't hang my hat on the Custis tree, whatever you want to call it. I just made that up. That didn't make any sense whatsoever. But this, I felt like I needed to do this video to try and explain to you that a lot of your frustration that you're feeling is being fed by the machine. It's being fed by the media, fed by agents, fed by people trying to manipulate the transfer market. And no greater way to manipulate the transfer market than to use Manchester United's name as a way to boost interest for your player. Whether it's the old school one of Sergio Ramos. You remember that one? That was particularly painful. We were thinking we were going to sign him. All of a sudden, he signs a new contract around Madrid, and he was just using Manchester United as a tool to gain power in the negotiations. No doubt, a ton of the names on this list can fall straight into that category. A ton of the names on this list can fall straight into the speculation category. Not really based on any really solid evidence. More just the fact that maybe somebody wants somebody to move to Manchester United. I don't know. But I felt like I needed to do this video to not, I suppose, a little bit of a light-hearted way to say, look, I know we're all frustrated, and I think we all have every right to be frustrated. But I think you need to temper some of those frustrations and understand that quite a lot of that frustration hasn't necessarily been born from Manchester United directly. Now, the stuff that's gone on with Frankie de Jong, that's poor negotiation, in my opinion. Slow negotiation, haggling over a fee, something that we should be able to do far more clinically, far more quickly. But overall, so much of your frustration this window would be like every single day you go to read the newspapers or you read somewhere and someone else is linked. And then it gets your hopes up. And then that gets dashed. And once that gets dashed, it builds up a little bit of resentment so that when the point comes along where you are actually moving for a player, you want it to happen quick, fast, now. Which sometimes can't happen. And with Manchester United, it rarely does happen. That's where I do share the frustrations of all United fans in the transfer window. From this point onwards now, I said it like a week ago, like, with the De Jong situation, just get it done, man. It's obvious that he's our number one target. What are we waiting for? Why are we haggling over this fee to the degree we're haggling over? It's not exactly much. It's 15 million euros. The grand scheme of football transfers, it's not much at all. Christian Eriksen, that one's going to be slightly more complicated by the fact that he's just a free agent. He can sit there and take as long as he wants to choose what he wants. Let's find out there. But as Richard Arnold said, and I know I'm repeating myself here, but Richard Arnold did say that the money was there. That's why the frustrations now, I think, are all completely justified. And it's why I personally think you're probably going to see some real movement this week. At least not for the fact that Erik ten Hag is back at the club on Monday. United are like a lower sixth student. You know they got an essay in 4 weeks' time. Yeah, I could do it now. But I could also do it the night before. And technically, the essay would still be handed in. It might not be as quality as it could have been if I had taken time to do it, but that's what United seem like. That's the frustration that I share with all of you. Our approach to a transfer window isn't to use the time as a whole, but to delay and dither and all of a sudden panic towards the end. I don't want to see a deadline day signing for United this year. I don't want to see us spurning around and trying to sign Cavani on a free transfer, given the fact that he'd be free all summer, or just some weird stuff like that. I want us to change. We haven't seen that change so far, but maybe we can still see it before the preseason starts. I've maintained all along, I still think United will get what we need done in this transfer window. But I just wanted to do this video and use this list, as I said, made by the United Muppeteers. Big up to them for making that list. It's just outrageous how many players get linked with the move to Manchester United. And they say that we're not the biggest club in the world anymore. United is the club that everybody still uses when it comes to linking their player, agent doing it, whoever's doing it, with a transfer. Maybe that's just the butt of the joke, really. That's what United are these days. Something or somebody that anybody can use to find link players. But I felt like doing this video. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of you in the comments that maybe, I don't know, I'll be interested to know what the comments are on this video. But over 100 players have been linked. I haven't signed any of them so far. And while you're all right to have your frustrations about the slow negotiations with De Jong and everything that goes on there, remember that a lot of the frustration has actually been borne by the media rather than the club itself. All I wanted to say.